Hello everyone, it's Heidi and welcome to this week's episode of Baby Name Sunday. Today's list is going to be a little bit different and very interesting. I asked over on Instagram and everybody sent in some names they believe will be trendy 5 years from now. I thought it would be really fun and really interesting to see what everybody's take on for trendy names in the upcoming future, and I got a ton of name suggestions. So it will be another speed round list of about 100 names, and make sure you guys, if you haven't already, subscribe down below with that red button and click that bell notification right beside it so you guys don't miss another upcoming video. All right, let's get into this list. It'll be a mixture of boys and girls names. It's kind of all randomly sorted, so let's get into it. All right, so to start the list off, I have the name Elon, spelled E-L-O-N, Elon. Very revolutionary name, and it's Hebrew originated, meaning oak tree. Next, we have a virtue name that's been slowly creeping up on the charts, and that's the name Reverie, spelled R-E-V-E-R-I-E, Reverie. Virtue names in general, I feel like are going to be one of those themes that are going to remain timeless. Reverie actually means in a dream-like state, and I really just feel that it brings that positivity, so I definitely see this one upcoming in the future. Then we have the name Henley, spelled H-E-N-L-E-Y, Henley. It's a sweet English originated name, actually been used quite often as a surname, meaning high meadow. It's a really great genderless L-E-Y ending option that still isn't too popular, but it's familiar in sound. Number 4 on the list, my husband actually added this one. It's the name Astro, spelled A-S-T-R-O. Astro. It's actually Greek originated, meaning star, and celestial names, this is going to be a theme. They're very bold and they're loved by many parents out there. Next name here on the list, I have the name Lynx, spelled L-Y-N-X, Lynx. This is one of my favorite animal names of all time, absolutely genderless with that trendy X ending. And then just like I said, names ending in X are the future. There was actually a ton that were sent in, but the 2 top ones were the name Lux, spelled L-U-X, and the name Fox, spelled F-O-X, that they believe will trend 5 years from now, which I am totally on their side with. We were speaking of celestial names earlier. Next one here is the name Jupiter, spelled J-U-P-I-T-E-R, Jupiter. Now, Venus for girls, Jupiter is kind of more genderless, Mars for boys. Oh, all of these planetary names, we actually debated Jupiter for a little girl if Aries was a girl. It was on our kind of narrowed down list. We loved it. Moving on to a very girly name here. We have the name Arabella or Arabella, spelled A-R-A-B-E-L-L-A. Something about that A-R-A, Ara or Ara, I think it's so beautiful. And this one's a very sweet option if you want that Belle or Bella nickname. And it's a Latin originated name meaning yielding to prayer. Okay, we're bringing the vintage back for number 10. I have the name Willa, spelled W-I-L-L-A, Willa. This one is definitely been rising on the charts, but it's actually a feminine variant of the name William, which is English originated meaning resolute protection. All right, moving over to the boy side, and one name that was sent in by so many is the name Anders or Anders, spelled A-N-D-E-R-S. Those Ander ending names are it right now. I think it's so handsome. You can make it edgy with that beginning, or you can kind of just go straight for it. But it's actually a Scandinavian variant of the name Andrew, meaning strong and manly. Next one here, over on the girls' side, I have the name Margot, spelled M-A-R-G-O-T, Margot. This one was also sent in a few times, those vintage revival names, but this one's actually a French diminutive of Margaret, meaning pearl. There was actually a theme itself that was sent in, which are boy names for girls. I am so with you for this. Boy names have been making their way over to that gender neutral spot, and a few of those names that were sent in was the name Noah without an H, Wyatt, Ellis, Sawyer, Arlo, and Jude. Next, I have an option for a girl and option for a boy. I have the name Octavia, spelled O-C-T-A-V-I-A, or for a boy, I have the name Octavian, spelled the same way, but with that I-A-N ending. Oof, super handsome. They're very impactful sounding names. They're actually both Latin originated, meaning eighth. Next, I have the name Aviva, spelled A-V-I-V-A. Oh, this name makes me smile. It's Hebrew originated, meaning fresh, dewy, and spring-like. A potential alternative to Ava in the future. A genderless option here next is is the name Rory, spelled R-O-R-Y, or you can do it with an I, and it's Irish originated, meaning red king. Then for another vintage girl's name here is the name Daphne. This one is one of my favorite vintage names, and I'm not too much of a vintage girl, but this one's Greek originated with nature roots, meaning laurel tree or bay tree. I have the powerful name Oberon, spelled O-B-E-R-O-N, Oberon. Now this one's an English originated name, meaning noble but bear-like. Then I have the name Samson, spelled S-A-M-S-O-N, Samson, and it's Hebrew originated, meaning sun. Sun for a meaning, I feel like it's also its own little trend rising. Solar, solera, soleil, just so beautiful. Next we have the Finnish name Arvo, spelled A-R-V-O, Arvo, and it means value and worth. Then we have a couple options here that are actually musically inspired that have been slowly rising their way on the charts. So we have names like Ozzy, which is English originated, meaning divine power or divine bear. And then I have the name Hendrix, spelled H-E-N-D-R-I-X, Hendrix. Now this one's both Dutch and German originated, meaning a state ruler. Another theme that a lot of you guys have been seeing rising are place names. So a few place names, popular place names that were sent in is the name Cairo, C-A-I-R-O, Harlem, we have Milan, and we had Rio for something short and sweet. Next we have the name Ace, spelled A-C-E. Love this one for a girl. It's both strong and genderless, and it means one or unity. Another theme that I've been seeing very recently with a lot of new little newborns are number names like 7, 11, and even Spanish number names like Cinco, C-I-N-C-O, Cinco. Okay, this next one here, everybody's gonna be like, yes. So that's the name Walker, spelled W-A-L-K-E-R. This is one of the most rising occupational names this year. Then moving on to our next name here, I have the name Percy, spelled P-E-R-C-Y, Percy. This is very Harry Potter inspired, which I love, and it's a French surname and a place name. All right, bringing it back to the 1880s. Yes, 1880s, we have the name Lulu, spelled L-U-L-U. This vintage name, it's making its comeback. I definitely believe this one will be within that top 50, even the top maybe 20 names in the future in 5 years. Just mark my words. Next we have a beachy coastal nature name. I have the name Tide, spelled T-I-D-E, or some have been loving that Y instead of the I. I love this. This is one of my favorite coastal names. Just coastal nature names in general for that little beach babe are just something. Speaking of beach names, another one here that was sent in multiple times is the name Kai, spelled K-A-I, Kai. And this one's a Hawaiian originated name meaning sea. Keeping on with the nature names here, I have the name Leaf, spelled L-E-A-F, Leaf. This one is more so unusual right now, but I believe, just like you and many others, I definitely believe this one and seeing it rising as people are trying to find those more unique nature alternatives because nature names right now are booming. Number 32 on the list here, we have the name Romy or Romy, spelled R-O-M-Y. This one's another diminutive, another option here of the name Rome, meaning citizen of Rome. Another option here on the boy side is the name Maverick, spelled M-A-V-E-R-I-C-K, Maverick. And this one, everybody believes that it will keep rising. It's gonna be one of those timeless, strong boy names that will be rocking the charts 5 years from now. It's an American originated name meaning independent and nonconformist. Next two names here, I feel like are gonna be battling each other to see who can make it to that top spot. So first one here is the name Halo, spelled H-A-L-O, and this one's an American and angelic word name. Then we have the name Aura, spelled A-U-R-A, and this one's another angelic option here. I love how I put angelic, but it's Greek originated meaning soft breeze. What do you believe, Halo or Aura? In the comments below, who is gonna win that battle in 5 years from now? Another short option here, just like Lulu, I have the name Coco, spelled C-O-C-O, Coco. I love this. It's a French pet name, and it's one that I will forever love so much, but Davian said, no, we can't use that. I'm like, yes, we can. It's so cute. I love spice names. Moving on to a couple other boys' names on the list here that were sent in. So I have the name Roscoe, spelled R-O-S-C-O-E. Roscoe. This one's so adorable. It's Norse originated, meaning deer forest. Then as for another Norse originated name here, I have the name Odin, spelled O-D-I-N, Odin. I can see Roscoe and Odin being like twin boys or boy siblings. And Odin was the old Norse mythology god of art, culture, wisdom, and law. Next, I have the name Arlie, spelled A-R-L-I-E. This one has been definitely a fan favorite. It's English originated, meaning from the rabbit meadow. Then speaking of the meadows and the outdoors, I have the name Bear, spelled B-E-A-R, Bear. It's such a bold statement name, full of power, confidence, and peace. Speaking of power, but on the girl side, I have the name Olympia, spelled O-L-Y-M-P-I-A, Olympia. This one is a beautiful Greek name meaning from Mount Olympus, which is the home of all the Greek gods. All right, switching it up here, I actually had to switch the battery. So next one here, I have the name Eisen, spelled two ways, A-I-Z-E-N or E-I-S-E-N. This one is super handsome. It's actually a German surname meaning iron or iron cutter. Another popular name theme here that someone believes will be rising in the next 5 years is that shorter A names for girls, so A ending names like Alma, A-L-M-A, Alma, or the name Vera, spelled V-E-R-A. What do you think? I definitely see this. Next, I have the name Bloom, spelled B-L-O-O-M. Now this one is so gorgeous for either that first or middle name spot. Then I have the name Easton, spelled E-A-S-T-O-N, Easton. Now this one's an English originated name meaning east facing place, but directional names in general, thank you Kim and Kanye, have been rising as well. So names like Weston, Easton, or even North for a little girl. Another option here on the boy side, I have the name Payson, spelled P-A-Y-S-O-N, Payson. Now this is another English S-O-N ending name, very similar to like the girls version Peyton, Payson for a boy. I feel like a lot of people have been looking for alternatives. This is a great example. Then for another option here for the boys, love this one. Two options actually. It's the name Briggs, spelled B-R-I-G-S, or the name Brigsby, spelled B-R-I-G-S-B-Y. I can't with that name, it's so sweet. And they're both English variants of the name Bridge. All right, time for another animal name, but on the girl side, I have the name Otter, spelled O-T-T-E-R, Otter. This is definitely very unusual, but it's a super sweet animal name. I feel like it's so cute, and it was totally snatched up by Zooey Deschanel, so I feel like it now is considered usable. It's so funny when celebrities use a name, now it's usable. So think outside the box, love this as that unusual little animal girl's name, Otter. Back over onto the boy side, I have the name McCoy, spelled M-C-C-O-Y, McCoy. And this is an Irish originated name, more so found as a surname meaning fire. Then I have the name Dune, spelled D-U-N-E, Dune. Now this one is a very kind of beachy, but very boho word name. Then speaking of word names, on the girl side, we have the name Honey. So H-O-N-E-Y, Honey. This is so obvious as to why it's up here. It is going to be rising, it's going to be timeless, and people I feel like are going to be very playful with it as well. Now, we were speaking of virtue names before. This is a great option for the boy side. I really like it. It's the name Legend, spelled L-E-G-E-N-D, Legend. So cool. It's very bold, very brave, and very unforgettable. Like literally. Then to completely switch it up here, this one's so different, love it for a girl, it's the name Xanthi. So X-A-N-T-H-E, Xanthi. That X just makes it, oh, I love it. Honestly, the love for this name has kind of grown on me, but it's Greek originated, meaning golden or yellow. Next, I have the name Ismay, spelled I-S-M-A-Y, Ismay. This is a very super pretty French and Persian variant name, meaning esteemed or beloved. Then speaking of French names, French girly, very feminine names of the past have been making its way onto the charts as well. So names like Odette, O-D-E-T-T-E, Lucille, very pretty with that double L, and even the name Soleil. Yes, Soleil, one of my favorites, but very elegant and very airy, girly names. Now, again, speaking of French names here, another option here that's been making its way over to the boy side as well, so completely genderless, is the name Bellamy, spelled B-E-L-L-A-M-Y, Bellamy. I see this as being one of those top chart names, like alongside Charlotte, Olivia, Bellamy. I think it just fits right in. But again, it was a French originated name and it means fine friend. Next is the name Amari, spelled A-M-A-R-I, Amari. This one is beautiful. It's a Hebrew originated name meaning eternal. Then I have the name Zariah, spelled Z-A-R-I-A-H, Zariah. This is a Z name I would totally use in a heartbeat. It's Arabic originated with floral elements meaning rose. Another French name actually made its way onto the list here. Another one is the name Dior, so D-I-O-R, Dior. I love this as that really cool French surname sound, but it means made of gold. That's so special. Moving on to the boy side, another name here that was sent in is the name Wallace, spelled W-A-L-L-A-C-E, Wallace. I love this as well for a really great vintage boy name. It's actually an English from French originated name meaning foreigner or stranger. Next, we have a floral name here. I was actually surprised of how little floral names were sent in. So this one here that I am so with you on this one is the name Magnolia, spelled M-A-G-N-O-L-I-A, Magnolia, nickname Noli. Oh, this is just so gorgeous. It's very long, again, very elegant, and just so beautiful for either that first or middle name spot. Then speaking of beautiful, we have the name Araya, spelled A-R-A-Y-A, Araya. This is a gorgeous Armenian name meaning king, or could mean queen as well. Then we have the name Elodie, and this one's also another French originated name meaning foreign riches. Okay, another X name here on the list was actually sent in by Davian. Okay, so this is the name Zamir, so X-A-M-I-R, Zamir. And this one's a Hebrew variant, spelling variant, meaning song or bird. Time for a zodiac name on the list. Again, thank you, Davian, for sending this one in. It's for the girl side. It's the name Libra, so L-I-B-R-A, Libra. And this one's a Greek originated name meaning scales or balance, which the scales is exactly what Libra is represented by. Another option here that was more so sent in for the boy side, I have the name Light, spelled L-I-G-H-T, Light. A very bright, shiny omen word name for a boy. I think it's very wow-worthy, but it could totally be genderless. Then for my next one here, oh my gosh, Davey and I, we love this name for a girl. Honestly, it's one of our top names now. It's the name Delphi, spelled D-E-L-P-H-I, or derived from the name Delphine, spelled D-E-L-P-H-I-N-E. Now this one's Greek originated meaning dolphin. Oh, we love this name. I think it's so beautiful. Time for another vintage revival here. We have the name Opal, spelled O-P-A-L, Opal. Gorgeous jewel, precious gemstone name that just brings back those vintage times. Then as for our next one here, it's actually like a full theme for boys' names, even girls' names as well. It's surnames as first names for both boys and girls. I love them. There was a few that was sent in for the boy side here. It's the name Watson, spelled W-A-T-S-O-N. Watson, so handsome. There's Thatcher, which is so handsome as well. And then lastly, definitely a favorable choice here is the name Wells, spelled W-E-L-L-S. So many have been popping on the charts now here. We have Palmer, Emerson, Ellison for girls. Love them. Next, we have a place name here for the boy side is the name Zealand, spelled Z-E-A-L-A-N-D, Zealand. I definitely see this one rising as more of like an unusual place name that's gonna become not unusual very soon. And like I said, it's a place name, but it's also a Dutch originated name meaning sea, land. Something unique here next that was sent in for the boy side is the name Hale, spelled H-A-I-L, Hale. I love this for the boy side. I don't know, light, hail, these kind of like word names. I don't know, they're very soft, unique, and this one's very weather inspired, which is super cool. Another great middle name or first name option here, very versatile, is the name Rue. Now this one you can spell a bunch of different ways. You can do R-O-U-X, R-U-E, or you can do R-E-U-X. Very, very versatile for both that first name and that middle name spot. Then speaking of versatile, another one here is the name Wren, spelled W-R-E-N. I've been loving for boys R-E-N-N, that particular spelling. But either way, it is a bird name, very nature-esque, and I think it's very sweet as well. Moving on to another A name here on the girl side, I have the name Aveni, or is it Aveni? A-V-E-N-I. I think it's Aveni. But it's a beautiful name to symbolize the earth. Then for a shorter, more edgier boy's name, here's the name Enzo, spelled E-N-Z-O, Enzo. I've been seeing this populating everywhere. It's actually an Italian variant of Henry, meaning estate ruler. All right, we're slowly getting our way down the list here. A few more left. Another nature name is the name Willow, spelled W-I-L-L-O-W. Such an underrated nature name. Then I have the name Florence, spelled F-L-O-R-E-N-C-E, Florence. And this one's a Latin originated, meaning flourishing and prosperous. Another option here that was sent in on the girl side is the name Bria, spelled B-R-I-A. Very short, very pretty. It's actually from the Italian word brio, meaning vigor and liveliness. Okay, for this next one, I see it rising in the UK. I know where you're going. This is the name Nella, spelled N-E-L-L-A, Nella. I would have to say this is probably one of my favorites on the list, and I marked that here. One of my favorites on the list. In the UK, I feel like it's really gonna be rising, as Nell right now is one of their top chart names, and it means bright, shining one. Another Greek originated name on the boys' side, very powerful, is the name Helios. So H-E-L-I-O-S, Helios. Oh, it's Greek originated, meaning sun, and this one definitely could be the name of your future little Greek sun god. Then speaking of wonderful gods from Greek mythology, we are on to a girl's one here that I feel like honestly would be perfect for a sibling to Helios, is the name Selene. Spelled S-E-L-E-N-E, Selene. She actually sent this one in because she finds it's a perfect way for parents to find an alternative to Luna, the ever so popular Luna. And Selene is the moon goddess in Greek mythology. Another occupational variant here on the list, we have the name Tylee for the girl side. T-Y-L-I-E. Tylee. Very cutesy in sound. It almost sounds like my name, Heidi, but a little bit more girly. And this one's a great mix of the name Tyla and Kylie mixed together. You have Tylee. For the next one here, it's actually a modern invented name. Now this is the name Loxley, spelled L-O-X-L-E-Y, Loxley. Very, very cool. I can see invented names being the names of the future. I mean, all names were invented at one point, and there's always room for more. Then that brings me to my last three names here on the list actually. Next we have the name Hayes, spelled H-A-Y-E-Z or H-A-Y-E-S. Both were sent in. I like the Z ending one. It's not too crazy, and Hayes in general has been a great genderless option. It's actually an English nature name meaning hedged area. Then for the second to last name on the list here, we have the name Saber, spelled S-A-B-R-E, Saber. And this one's a Hebrew originated name meaning prickly pear, which is so funny. But this one's also a very medieval sounding name referring to like a sword, a saber. I think it's very strong for a boy. And then that brings me to my very final name on the list here. We have the name Jacoby, spelled J-A-K-O-B-I, Jacoby. Right now, within those top 10 names right now for boys, we have Jacob, we have James, we have Jude, and we even have Jasper as well. Jacoby fits right in there. It's so unusual. And right now I'm also thinking the name Jericho. I haven't seen that one rise up as much as I want to. So Jacoby and Jericho, I feel like they are going to be those really cool biblical names of the future. 5 years from now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's list. Thank you to everybody on Instagram who submitted names. They were absolutely amazing, and it's really going to be interesting to see what is to come in the future in 5 years from now. I feel like this is definitely going to be that top 100 list, right? I think so. Make sure you guys comment down below what you guys believe will be some names. If I missed any or if we missed any, write them in the comments below. Let us know some other options to add to this list. And definitely next year, I feel like I'm gonna do another one of these lists to see if any of our predictions change. All right, take care. I hope you guys are staying safe. I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of Zayla's birthday because it's Zayla's birthday today. And I will see you guys next Sunday with another baby names list. Bye.